Hello, today we're going to be going over the installation video of the Idlestopper V2 module for a 2023 Honda Pilot. The first thing we need to take off is the trim piece that goes all the way across the front of the dashboard, and this is just held in by clips. So you can start by either grabbing it in the corner over here and pulling off, or you can use a pry tool or something plastic similar and kind of go in between the leather or vinyl and the plastic there and just pop that edge, and then we'll work our way around and start pulling off the clips on the other side over by all the way down to the vent, just like that. So what we're going to do next is unplug these two connectors here. There's a little connector latch right here, so you're going to push down on this tab and wiggle the connector out like that, and on the other side same thing. And that will free our panel up here. So you can go ahead and take this panel and stick it in the back or move it somewhere out of your way for the rest of the installation. And the next thing we're going to be taking off here is the shifter button assembly. Also just clipped in, no screws or anything. So we're going to go take our pry tool in here and kind of pop up on this panel here and work your way around to the side, and then start at the other corner up here. And once you get a little part of it up, you can start pulling it up with your hand instead of the pry tool, and it should pop completely free like this. There are 3 connectors under there. You will really only need to unplug the one here, which is the underneath the idle stop off drive mode hill descent switch. So you're going to push the tab in and unplug that connector. And then the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is remove this wireless charge pad. This is a Trail Sport model, so it does have the wireless charger. If yours doesn't have the wireless charger, it's going to be similar, and it will pop up in the exact same fashion. Again, no screws or anything. There are 2 little tab holes down here that we can stick a screwdriver, or likewise there's one here and one here. And you want to make sure you put something around your screwdriver so you don't gouge up the dashboard or the console area while you're in here doing this. Mine's already kind of half popped up, but the procedure will still be the same. So what we're going to do is take a screwdriver and go in here like this, and you can wrap this up, like I said, with tape just to protect it when you pull it backwards. I'm going to use this pry tool. It's going to be the same function, and you're just going to pop the front of it up, and it's going to slide out towards you, and you can unplug the connector that's on the wireless charge pad. Again, if you don't have the wireless charge pad, you won't need to unplug that connector, but we can set that trim panel aside. The next thing we're going to be taking off is the power outlet panel here in the front. It's just clipped in as well. There's some clips at the top and a few at the bottom. So my best advice would be to take another pry tool and go in the upper corner in between the plastic here and kind of give it in a little gap there, a little forward motion. And once you get those 2 clips unpopped, then the top half will be loose, and then you can go ahead and grab this and just kind of wiggle it out of its place. What we're really after here is this white power connector here. So we're going to push this tab in, and we're going to wiggle this connector off of the power socket here. And then we're going to go ahead and take our Idlestopper module out of the package. Take our Idlestopper module and run this red wire down through the hole in the console here. And it's going to go up and underneath. You're going to reach through the other side and grab it and pull it up through there, just like this. But after we've got our wire through that hole, we're going to go ahead and remove this small trim panel here. There's 2 clips up in the corner. You can use a screwdriver or likewise to loosen it, and this panel should pop right out. There's a couple clips, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 on the other side, just like that, and then the 2 on the corners. This is the tab that you're going to be pushing in to remove these panels on the corner, just like that. So we're going to set that aside, and that's going to give us space to run our wire through back behind an opening back in the back. We're going to go ahead and stick it up through this hole as well. We're going to go on around the underside here. We're going to push it up and through that. So that will go right behind the panel. once we get that through, we should have just the wire hanging out here, and it should be underneath the wireless charge pad and behind that little plastic trim piece. So now we can put this black plastic trim piece back in. We're going to go ahead and set this back in its spot. Make sure everything is nice and clipped in. And then we're going to go ahead and connect to the power outlet socket here. The Idlestopper black connector is a T-shape. It only goes on one way, so you're just going to plug that into your power socket. And then the other end with the two blades is going to plug into your factory wire, just like this. And then we're going to take the foam strip that is in the Idlestopper package, and we're going to put that over this gap just to cover this connection. And you can just wrap it right around like that. And we can put this right back in its place. So this panel will also just snap back into place like this. And next we can put our wireless charging pad back in. So you're going to go ahead and find the wireless charge pad connector if it went down through the hole. And you're going to go ahead and plug that in. And it slides in first in the back, and then it will clip back down. So after we have that all done, we can take our final connections here. We have the factory wire down here that we unplugged from the idle stop switch earlier. We're going to plug that directly into the Idlestopper module here. And then the other end of the Idlestopper module, we're going to plug into the factory off switch where we unplugged the last connector. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that in like this. And we do also have a zip tie provided in the package, so you can zip tie it down underneath here. You can also run it underneath the plastic there, or just let it rest in there. It's really up to you on mounting. And then we're going to go ahead and just take our shifter panel and pop it back into place, just like that. And then the last thing we need to do is put our AC panel back up. We're going to go ahead and take those two connectors we had, and you can go ahead and plug both of those in. And then your dash panel will just gently rest back into its original spot, and then you can push forward on the clips and then work your way all the way down the line to make sure everything is clipped in correctly. So that's it for the assembly part and the install part. Now we're going to go ahead and start it up and test it. So we're going to start the vehicle. We're going to wait a few seconds. Down in the bottom left corner, the idle stop off light should illuminate down by the time. And there it was right there. So that lets us know that the system is off and disabled. And you can reach back down and turn it back on anytime you want via the button. And it doesn't matter which setting you leave it on when you shut the car off. Every time you start the car back up, after you wait about 5 to 7 seconds, it will automatically disable the idle stop off for you. And there it was right there. So that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching our video, and we hope you enjoy your Idlestopper.